Hello everyone. So for this video I will be going over making the 3D model of this base mounted shaft support. So this is the part we drew in our first drawing. So let me just rewind this part to, let's see here, to where we left off before. Okay. So where we left off with our first training is making this sketch right here. So now for making this into a 3D part, the first part is easy enough. It's just to extrude it. We're going to make it a symmetrical extrusion, and it might just keep all of my defaults right here. Let me just double check to make sure that's the correct dimension. Our width is 11/16. And I believe that's 11/16. I'm not sure though. Maybe not. Okay, so there is our extruded part, and that's, that we're basically most of the way done. Now it's just small details from here. So next we're going to make the holes on this face. So I'll start a sketch, click on one of these two surfaces, and since these surfaces are parallel to each other, like I can make holes on both surfaces at the same time. Going back to this drawing right here, the distance between the holes is 1 7/8. So I'm going to first just make 2 points. Let's project that edge, and actually let's just project the whole thing like that. And I click F7. Now really, when I click F7, it's just deleting this part up here. This surface still right here is still what we're drawing on, but for some reason it likes, if you're on the surface, that when you cut it, it makes it look like it cut that surface too, but we're actually looking at the top surface right there. Let's make a center line right here. Okay, and then another way I can either click on center line right there, or I can actually just right click here and then click on center line. Let's make these points like that. So I used a horizontal constraint, so now at least this point is horizontal. We'll make them symmetrical, so now both points are horizontal. And now I just use a dimension, and the distance between these 2 points is 1 7/8. Let me just double check that. Yeah, 1 7/8. Okay, so now I'm done there. Make my holes. These are going to be number 10 holes. Make them loose, and we'll do a little bit of a spot face on them. And perfect, all our settings are perfect. We want to make sure we have through all right there. We're on clearance hole, and we have a spot face selected here. Let me just say OK. Alright, so the next thing that we do is we're going to try to make this hole right here. So this is proved to be the more difficult part. The first part's easy, so we're just going to make a hole on this surface. Let's see. Let's look right here. Project geometry. We're going to project that surface right there. So now that is now in our sketch. Click F7 to cut it again, and we'll put a hole. Put it over here just to kind of show what's going on. So I use my horizontal constraint. Makes it horizontal with that point, and then vertical constraint makes it vertical with that point. Click OK. Hole. I already found that. I want that to be a straight hole. It's going to be threaded. I want it to be a number 10. Not a 1024, but a 1032. It's threaded the full depth. It's going through all, so that's perfect. So I just say OK. Look at it. Okay, that looks just like we want it to look. Okay, so the next part, there's a few different ways to go about doing this, and I think just the the easiest way in the end is just to draw it on this face right here. Then I'm going to, let's go back to looking at this face. I'm just going to project that hole right there, so that's the hole we just barely drew. And exit, click on that point and turn it into a center point. So okay, so now the only thing I don't like about this is that now we're drawing this hole, the hole starts out here, so any hole callouts that we make on a drawing are going to be the depth is going to be incorrect. However, the depth shouldn't really matter since we're going to have to implicitly say what the depth is from this center point anyways. I believe that's what Chad said he would like to see as a machinist. So let me just click on hole. I'm going to change this into a counterbore through hole. Make sure it's a socket head cap screw. And we're going to not go through all, but go to this surface here. And then we're just going to adjust what our counterbore is. So we're not going to worry about it being exact. It doesn't matter if the screw is perfectly, if the bolt is perfectly buried. We just want it, about like that. And I think actually about 1 inch will give us a good dimension. So I just input 1 inch and then clicked enter, and so now we have our counterbore hole here. So now, and the reason I like doing it that way is because now, if we measure the distance from there to there, okay, it's 1/4 of an inch. And I went through beforehand to make sure that was going to be a nice nominal dimension. And so now that hole's taken care of. And I'd say that's definitely the easiest way to do it out of all the different ways I've been trying to do it. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to put a draft on these two faces, because once again this is a cast part. So this face is drafted, and we're going to make these two faces drafted. So I click on draft. I like to always use this middle one, the fixed plane. So now I click on the surface that is going to stay put, that the other surface is going to reference to, and then I click on the face that is changing second. And then it'll give you a little preview of how it's doing it. -3, it's already defaulting to what I did before, so enter in -3 degrees, looks about right. So okay. And then it does not appear that you're able to mirror this feature. I've tried several times and haven't gotten it to work. So I'm just going to draft this other one too. Make sure we're clicked on the middle one. And this one is also -3 already. So just click OK. And now all that is left is to fillet it. I'll do a 1/16 inch fillet, and then just click on all surfaces that would be filleted. All edges that would be filleted. Somehow that changed. There we go. Okay, that looks like all of them. So I just click OK, and we have a fully made solid part. We can change the material up here to cast iron, and there is our finished part. We are ready to send that out for whoever to make it, but that's it. Any questions, please let me know.